Hello, namaskar, and welcome to Talking Point Blank. On now today's special podcast, I have a very eminent guest, a guest who really doesn't need any introduction, the fiery Abhijit Iyer Mitra. Abhijit, thank you so much for taking out the time and being here.
Thanks for having me, Raja. How can I help you?
Well, you can definitely help people understand what is going on. And I'm going to come straight to the question. From broken escalators to a glitchy teleprompter, and then finally Donald Trump again in the UN standing and saying, India and China are responsible for Russia-Ukraine war. How do you see his statement yesterday in relation to India, but also the way he spoke generally about America and the world, even going down on hard on the Europeans? How do you see his messaging to the world as well?
Look, it's the same messaging for the last 6 months, right? It hasn't changed really. And it's he's always called India tariff king since when? Since his first term.
Yeah.
When he forced us to accept Harley Davidson and things like that. Now, the main thing out here we have to see is that his positions never really change. They're more driven at the American domestic audience because he needs to show them that he's doing something different, which previous governments did not do. Why? Because the corruption of the previous government was so bad. They don't want to raise his corruption because he knows that Trump will open all the cases on them. So to divert from his own corruption cases, he's doing all kinds of stuff like, listen, tariffs, very simple. If you're selling biryani for 100 rupees and I impose a tariff on it, you are still selling me biryani for 100 rupees.
Yes.
You are not selling it to me for 150
it's just raise taxes.
Exactly. So it is the consumer that buys it. So what is he doing? He is saying that I'm going to pass all these costs on to you. So there are two effects of it. One is you pass the costs on to the American consumer, which leads to inflation. Now, that is the same Biden strategy of inflation because that is how you pay off debt.
Right.
Now, when you have a loan, you take a loan for a certain amount. The interest is fixed at, 3%, 7%, 10%, 12%, whatever. When the value of the money goes down, it is much cheaper to pay off that debt.
True.
Right? It's the same interest rate. It's the same amount. The rupee might have become half of what it was, say, 1 year back, which means effectively you're only paying half the amount back to the bank. It's a fantastic way of getting rid of debt because America is under a huge debt mountain, which is why, he did not want to go for a balanced budget. He's going for a highly inflationary budget. Inflation is what? Inflation is basically hidden tax.
True.
Right. So he's doing that. All of this is, it's smoke and shadow. It's misdirection. Oh, look, he went to this thing and he spoke about the UN being useless, about India being tariff, Europe not doing enough on Ukraine, etc., etc. It doesn't matter. He's got his own agenda. Let him do it. The downside is it's going to distort the American market very badly. And the problem with distorted markets, as we know, is it always leads to greater crime. It leads to more black money, tax avoidance, etc., etc. Classic cases. Best of luck to America.
But what do you think is his real hidden agenda? What is he trying to achieve here? Because he's trying to burn everything down, every relationship down, by and large.
I think what he's trying to do basically is he doesn't care if everything else burns as long as his voter base gets what he promised.
Okay.
Now, I guess we all interpreted his words in the most beneficial way possible. It turns out it is not necessarily beneficial. It will be the most maleficent way possible, which is totally fine. I mean, who's getting hurt in all of this? It's America. America is the one that's facing inflation. Now, see, the more the inflationary pressure, the more the value of the dollar comes down as a reserve currency, right? So he's doing a lot to see to it that basically the Republicans become unelectable for the next 10, 15 years, minimum.
Okay.
Minimum. He's also doing a lot to see to it that his personal finances increase massively. Because basically, if you read the fine text of everything, he has to be looked after. His family needs to be looked after. By the time he retires, he needs to have a kitty of about $10 billion.
Okay.
It's that simple.
And he's going to retire, in next 3 years? Because he can't, again be the president of America.
Slightly over 3 years.
Yeah. But how do you see the Russia-Ukraine, and the best thing is about Zelensky, who came and said today that India is basically a friend on our side. And most of the Western countries are saying that. But do you see a clear divide between the Americans and the Europeans?
See, this was never about Ukraine, because if it was about Ukraine, the Europeans are doing all the heavy lifting on Ukraine. Why did he tariff them? He
told them yesterday, but it was a very light punch to the Europeans as compared to India and China.
Right, but
rest of the world.
It wasn't a light punch. Let's be very clear. It wasn't light at all. But he tariffed them also. So what is the point of all of that? Jobs aren't going to come back into America just because imports are expensive. An American is not going to work for the wage required to make the average Walmart t-shirt or whatever
any merchandise,
palatable to the American consumer. Which is why all American textiles are made in China, Bangladesh, Vietnam, India. Right? True. Just changing that does not bring stuff in. Far from it, it actually creates a protected environment where things don't grow. So, for example, look what we do with cars. You look at where the Chinese are with EVs right now, and you look at where Tata and Mahindra are with EVs right now.
True.
Right. Till about 3 years back, the Tatas had 80% of the EV market.
Yes.
Today, MG has about 40% of the EV market. Right. Tata has no incentive to change. It's only when MG came in and started, assembling out here to bring down the cost that things are changing. Are they changing? I mean, I don't see Tata changing. So that's that. Boss, I really don't know what's happening in his mind. At the same time, he's not mad. There's a method to the madness. There's a logic to his own. It's a mix of corruption, gripe, rejuvenating his voter base or whatever, keeping the MAGA movement alive. I don't know what it is, but...
Yeah, this MAGA is, who are these people? We really don't know. And how big is this voter base in America and how popular it is? It's quite questionable,
It's clearly quite big. It is extremely popular. I mean, look at the last election. He won an absolute majority, right? There was no electoral college majority. It was both electoral college and a full vote majority, which he did not win in his first.
But can we club every voter who voted for Donald Trump in that MAGA category?
No, there is a core MAGA, but this is there in every movement. Tell me one movement that doesn't have its fanatics and doesn't have the waverers and doesn't have the moderates. There is no movement like that, right? Apparently, Al-Jolani now is a moderate. You know that?
I'm going to come to him next. I'll be coming to him.
If Al-Jolani can become a moderate, I'm sure there are many MAGA moderates, just like there are, woke moderates and DEI moderates.
As long as you wear the suit, you become a moderate. No, so that is
or you wear fatigues like Zelensky and become a moderate. But the main thing is we don't want to get involved in this Ukraine war. It's very, very simple. It is not our fight.
Those never was.
When Pakistan invaded Kashmir
47
on an ethnic basis, where was the UN intervention force?
Nowhere.
Right. They all said withdraw and hold elections. So I think the same thing should apply to Ukraine. No? Russia should withdraw, and there should be a referendum on if right bank Ukraine wants to join Russia or not.
So you think that is a way forward solution to?
I think everything east of the Dnieper River should be and of course the part of South Ukraine, which is Odessa, which is Russian majority. I think the same Kashmir formula should be applied. It should there should be a referendum, and they should decide if they want to join Russia or stay with Ukraine.
What do you think is happening in Middle East? And why I ask you is, do you think Americans and Israelis have chewed more in Gaza than what they could digest?
Look, we've been saying from day one, Israeli war aims in Gaza are very nebulous.
Hmm.
We're going to get rid of these guys.
How do you do that?
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It isn't something you can do in a year, 2 years. It requires a very, very long, sustained 15, 20-year approach. And the problem there is, it's not as clumsy as the first Russian campaign in Chechnya, where you remember everything was flattened with months of
Yes.
shelling. And when they went in, all their tanks and troops were destroyed because the Chechens had found tunnels through the rubble.
Yes.
So there is new tunnel creation and things like that, which is happening out there. The safe zones apparently aren't working because Hamas won't let them go into the safe zones. The Israelis need to be a lot more clear on what the goals are. Because right now the goals, I mean, at some point, Israeli will wane.
Okay.
It doesn't really happen so much with low intensity warfare, but with high intensity warfare, how long can you continue indefinitely?
Hmm.
That is always going to be a problem. You look at the left wing in Israel, how they're mobilizing and things like that. So we don't know what's going to happen out there. Of course, the Israelis are very, very good militarily. That's a different matter. But I do see Hamas severely weakened. I do see Hamas severely isolated. Anyway, the Saudis and co never liked them. Now they're not feeling safe in Qatar anymore.
Hmm.
Inshallah, they will not feel safe in Istanbul either.
Hmm. They will be going to Pakistan. That's what I think.
They might go to Pakistan.
Yeah.
But do you think Pakistan has the testicular fortitude to risk an Israeli strike?
Pakistanis actually don't have the testicles left in them anymore.
See, there's one thing I've seen about Pakistan. You give them a small tube light,
Hmm.
a small flashlight, and they think you've gifted them a nuclear reactor.
Yes.
So, this latest alliance, so-called alliance treaty, what is it about? It's purely about them going as mercenaries for the Saudis in
Yemen. Yeah.
Saudi Arabia also has a mutual defense pact with the GCC.
Yes.
It's called the Peninsular Defense Force.
Yes.
The Peninsular Shield Force.
Shield force. Yeah.
Qatar also has a formal alliance treaty. An attack on one is an attack on all with America.
Hmm.
When Israel, and mind you, Israel has no formal defense treaty with America. When Israel attacked Qatar, they flew through Saudi airspace, with the Saudis fully knowing they were flying. The Saudis most probably even provided refueling and support for the Israelis, like they did during the whole Iran war. They, when the Israelis bombed Doha, neither did the Americans invoke the collective defense clause, neither did the GCC invoke the collective defense clause. They just put out the normal statements, oh, very bad, very bad, very bad. The international Jew is to blame. We'll all stand in solidarity and unity. But there's an old Arab saying, in order to stab somebody in the back, you first need to get behind him. उसका पीछा करोगे तभी उसके पीठ पे खंजर मार सकते हो. आगे बढ़ो, हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं. आप आगे बढ़ोगे, पीठ में खंजर लगेगा. That is what happens in. I don't think people realize how cutthroat Middle East politics is. The second thing that's going to happen is that the Emiratis are also going to sign a pact with the Pakistanis shortly, I suspect, because they will not want. There are 4 factions in Yemen right now. If this is Yemen and this is this is West and this is East. This is where the Houthis are. This is where the old government is, supported by the Saudis. South and up to here is where the Emirati faction is, new factions. And this is where Al-Qaeda is along the Oman border. Okay? Well, close to the Oman border, but the Oman border itself is the Saudi-backed this thing. Now, what ends up happening out here is the Emiratis don't want Pakistanis attacking their boys. So they will get their own Pakistanis to see to it that their Pakistanis don't attack our Pakistanis. You know, when the Mongols were conquering Central Asia, Persia and all of that, it wasn't Mongols doing most of the fighting. It was our Turks versus your Turks. Just like the Cold War was, it was all stolen German scientists after the Second World War. It was the whole space race was our Germans versus your Germans.
Yes.
It is the same thing. This is going to be our Pakistanis versus your Pakistanis, or preferably from the Pakistani point of view, Pakistanis don't hit each other. So it's a mutual guarantee of non-aggression, I guess. But those troops will 100% be used to attack the Houthis.
Yes.
So how do you think Iran is going to react to this? Because Iran has invested huge amounts in the Houthis. What will happen to the Houthis? Number one, I don't think the Pakistanis listen, even in Balochistan, they are not able to crush it.
Yeah, and I don't know how I know how Pakistan is going to justify attacking the Houthis, the same Houthis who were fighting Israel against the Palestinians.
I've been to that part of Yemen long back and as a kid, and my memory of it is extremely hilly, extremely rugged. Maybe it's not as high as Afghanistan and things like that, but it is not an easy terrain.
So basically, Pakistanis are going to get slaughtered.
All urban, all this desert, this rural warfare is like that. All mountain guerrilla warfare, that is the whole point of it, which is what the Houthis do.
And Pakistanis are extremely bad at it.
I wish the Houthis on Pakistan and I wish Pakistan on the Houthis. They deserve each other. But what do you think Iran is going to do?
Yeah.
Iran can do a lot with the Shia minority in Pakistan. Iran can do a lot with the Taliban against Pakistan. Iran can do a lot with the Balochis within Pakistan. Do you think Iran is just going to keep quiet and knit sweaters?
No.
So they've got themselves a bailout package, I guess. I don't know how big the bailout package is going to be, but they've got themselves a bailout package. They've earned themselves an enemy in Iran. They are best of luck to them. I mean, ऐसा alliance मेरे को नहीं चाहिए भाई.
ये खिचड़ी है. It's a very, very.
And the Saudis have assured us in private that it doesn't apply to India. And the escape clause there is you have to invoke. Right? America has to invoke. Qatar has to formally request America to invoke
the defense pact or
the mutual defense clause. Same way Qatar has to ask the GCC. Qatar knew it wasn't going to get support from either, so it never invoked the clause. Now, Pakistanis are quite deluded. They may ask Saudi Arabia to invoke the clause. What do you think the Saudis are going to say?
Nothing. It's a master-slave relationship.
See, the whole reason the Pakistanis are going there is, look at a generation of Saudis and Emiratis. They've grown up in absolute luxury. They are given huge subsidies just for being born a Saudi or born an Emirati.
Yes.
Of course, the Emiratis have done huge value addition and things like that in terms of finance, infrastructure, human investment and things like that. The Saudis, it's all naam ke vaste in a sense. The real value addition is going to go now if NEOM doesn't go bust, if the prince's vision doesn't go bust. What then happens? Now you have, because Saudi boys don't want to fight in...
They don't want to fight anywhere.
Yemen. Or, they don't want to fight anywhere.
Yeah.
That is the whole reason the Pakistanis are being hired. You think that if they're not willing to fight on their own border with Yemen,
they will come and fight
for a organization that is sending drones against their southern cities and against their northern oil fields as far as Kuwait, which is that Shia strip, facing Iran. Do you think the Saudi boys are going to come fight with Pakistan against India?
No, they won't.
They won't.
They won't. They never will do.
But look, if you want to nurse your delusions, The Saudi Air Force is going to come help you. The Saudi Navy is going to come help you. Saudi Army.
Saudi Navy is a
going
new
to-
for me, actually, because it's a very. It's, I think, bad than Pakistan.
Congratulations. Delusion ho to aisa ho.
But tell me something. Iran is not going to hold back.
Yeah.
But then, do you think Iran will be colluding with Turkey? And how? Because see, I see. Let's say Israel is able to push Hamas out of Gaza. The way Syria is shaping up, especially with Al-Shara or Al-Jalani sitting there, and the Turkish influence and the Israeli influence confluting in Syria. Don't you think that this is going to go to Syria next, and the Iranians will now try to hold down Israel in Americans in
It
Syria?
is already in Syria.
Yeah.
The Kurds have not reconciled. I mean, despite all the appearances, from what I hear, they're building massive. So right now, the way the Euphrates flows along, cuts Syria in half. The northern half where Raqqa is in Kurdish hands. They are treating the Euphrates as the de facto border. There is a de facto Syrian Kurdistan, just like there is a de facto Iraqi Kurdistan. And there is a de facto rump Syria, which is also divided by the Israelis for the Druze in the south.
Yes.
Is it a formula that is going to blow up? Of course it is. Everybody knows it is going to blow up. We don't know in what shape and form it is going to blow up. It is not the end of the civil war. It's just a different phase in the civil war.
Right.
There are so many powder kegs just waiting to happen out there. There is Syria. Iraq is still unresolved. Bhai,
Big time.
itne sare hain. With Hezbollah weakened in Lebanon, what political power do the Shias now have left?
Very little.
They are the highest in terms of population with the lowest representation in terms of political power formally.
Yes.
What they lacked formally, they used to enforce informally. Now what power do they have left? Nothing. It's now between the Sunnis and the Christians. The Druze playing the balancer.
Is that why Donald Trump yesterday invoked the Christianity thing, saying that the Christians are
Amongst other things. But, he's,
Okay.
I think ever since Charlie Kirk, he's invoking Christianity a lot more and things like that. Let it be. But this is not a state. Look, the people say, oh, it was colonial. Boss, it was never colonialism that created it. When was it ever a stable region?
It was
You
not.
look historically.
It was not.
There have always been three centers of power along the Euphrates, Tigris, the Tigris and the Euphrates. There has always been Baghdad, which has always hated Aleppo, which has always hated Damascus, which has always hated Baghdad.
Yes.
They have constantly been in conflict with each other one way or another. And every now and then an army would come from Cairo.
And they would.
So it was always, Kahira, Al-Kahira, Dimashq, Halab and Baghdad. They were always at each other's throats. There has never been a time, except maybe 20, 30 years of reunification. Maybe Salahuddin Ayyubi used to come and unify it for a while. After he died, what happened?
Nothing. It all
Nothing
fragmented.
happened, right?
Yeah.
And they've all been under Turks. People don't realize this Muslim history. Out of 1,400 years of Muslim history, Arabs have only written 200 years. The remaining 1,200 years have been written by Turks.
Yes.
Which is foreigners.
Yes.
Right. At one point of time, Egypt was formally called Turkey. Today, what applies to Turkey was Egypt was formally called Turkey.
Yeah. The Ottoman Empire was literally down till modern day Israel.
And so, this notion that the Middle East has ever been stable is complete nonsense. You can't impose stability out there. It is never going to be a properly stable region.
Regime changes are not going to help. No matter where you make them out.
So far, regime changes have only made things worse.
That's what I'm saying.
Tell me one regime change that worked out for the better.
Nothing. None.
See, this is the mistake people make. Oh, we regime changed Germany. We regime changed Japan. We regime changed Italy and look how that worked out. Yes, but they were all first world, fully developed countries that had a fully literate population, that had extremely high human development, that already had institutions. After they got bombed, they just had to rebuild what they already knew. These, except maybe for the Bahrainis, Qataris, and Qatar is also new generation, except the Emiratis, the Omanis. I do see stability in Oman. I do see stability in the Emirates. I do see stability in Qatar. I do see stability in, possible stability in Saudi Arabia, were it not for the Shia problem up north,
And the Houthi problem, yeah.
And the Houthi problem. But the Houthi is mostly a Yemen problem. But, and of course, I don't see stability in Bahrain because it is technically a Shia majority country, right? Ruled by a Wahhabi Sunni royal family. But other than that, you tell me kahan se stability aa sakta hai?
So then what happens with the all proposed IMEC corridor and the much touted economic, cooperation?
I don't think that's really going to be an issue. The Saudis want the campaign in Gaza to end so that IMEC can resume. They can't seem to be making peace with Israel without IMEC, without Gaza coming to an end.
Yeah, it cannot happen, yes.
Well,
but that's what I'm saying. No, Gaza goes down, Syria erupts. Then Turkish would not let the IMEC go up.
There's lots of creative solutions. It doesn't have to go through Syria at all. See, because what you do is it all comes through Saudi.
Yeah.
Goes through Jordan, the An-Nafud, and right through to Haifa.
Yeah, but Jordan is where the problem is because then you have the West Bank.
Jordan is, there are two ways of dealing with the Muslim Brotherhood. One is the Qatar solution, one is the Jordan solution. What did Qatar do? Qatar is like, I've got a Rottweiler. Please, Rottweiler, don't bite me, bite everybody else. I will keep tossing out pieces of meat for you from the window. The Jordanians invested in taming the Rottweiler. They slowly started feeding them meat, got them in. Today, the Muslim Brotherhood linked parties in Jordan are the king's loyal opposition.
Yeah.
They have tamed them in a way that Sadat, Hosni Mubarak, and the current chap have not been able to tame Egypt. Sisi.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Muslim Brotherhood, after what happened to
Mubarak?
No, the Muslim Brotherhood president. I forget his name. The one who Sisi replaced.
Yeah, Hosni Mubarak.
No.
What was his name? Abhi yaar mere dimag mein aa jayega, yes.
Him, what happened?
Muhammad, something, Muhammad, yeah. What's his name? Mahmoud something, yeah.
Remember, Sayyid Qutb was locked up by Anwar Sadat.
Yes.
And they literally used to release German shepherds to bite his genitals and things like that. That is how he was tortured in jail.
Yeah.
Hassan al-Banna, his death happened in extremely mysterious circumstances. Egypt deals with them very differently. I don't think in a very smart way. Jordan is the one that's dealt with them extremely smartly. Qatar has adopted the model that the Saudis had adopted long back, which is ghar mein saap palo and expected to bite everybody else. That didn't work out for the Saudis.
That is pretty much like the Pakistanis.
Yeah. They couldn't reverse course till MBS came and said, okay, enough of your old fogies. I am now reversing course.
Yeah.
The Emiratis reversed course quite some time back. And MBZ in a way mentored MBS. Now they've fallen out. That's a different matter over Yemen. But the Saudis are kind of following the Emirati pathway, right?
By the way, his name was
Mohammed Mursi. That's it. And he died in jail. He died a horrible death in jail. Well, so, there are different ways of dealing. So Jordan is actually quite stable. Now, remember, stability doesn't mean there won't be terror attacks.
There would be.
There will be terror attacks.
Yes.
You remember that very famous Arab film director Mustafa Akkad, his family, he and his family were blown up when they were celebrating their wedding in Amman.
Yes.
He's the one who made that Lion of the Desert.
Was
Was it him or Yusuf Shaheen? I forget
No,
which
I
one.
think it was
one
him.
Of those two. Yeah.
I think it was him. Yeah.
So this is, let's not confuse stability with terror attacks. हर जगह होते रहते
Terror hoga. But tell me something, this Muslim Brotherhood, apart from the Middle East, now look at its impact in UK, look at its impact in Europe. Look at the rioting which happened in Italy because Meloni completely refused to go for the state of Palestine recognition. How do you see them? Because they're going to create a lot of ruckus in these places. UK is almost a gone cause. How do you see that shaping up next 10 years, or let's say next half a decade to a decade?
So, the standard statistics that they give you is, look, Muslims are a certain part of the population. You look at general growth rates, even amongst Muslims, it isn't high enough to replace the population. What they're not looking at is the mean marriageable age. So the average in one community, if it's 16 years, and the average in the other community, if it's 45 years, you've already gone through 3 reproductive cycles
before you get to one.
Before you've even got to one.
Yeah.
And that is, this is why Disraeli used to say there's lies, damned lies, and there's statistics, which is the worst of the lot. This is the way these things are hidden. But look, I wish we didn't make this choice for them. The Europeans chose this for themselves. Congratulations to you. I wish your immigrants on you, and I wish you on your immigrants.
So that's how you see it, basically.
I think everybody is responsible for their own actions.
Okay.
Britain does not get to play victim. If they stayed quiet when this whole thing was happening, it was all done in their name. They had the opportunity to vote.
Yeah.
They voted in Starmer. It doesn't matter that, in fact, the Conservative vote grew. As in the ideological Conservative vote, which was, the problem was Nigel Farage split it away from the Tories, which is why. Yes. So Keir Starmer actually got fewer votes than the previous thing, but it was because the right-wing vote was split. Same with France. Please do what you want.
What's with France? Macron losing everything still remains in power. How does he manage to do that?
So that's the French system. That's the genius of the French system. The presidential election is different. He nominates the prime minister. You can keep going through 10, 15 prime ministers and the president remains the president. It is only in extraordinary circumstances that the National Assembly can meet and impeach the president.
So basically he's there for good.
Yeah, he's there for good. And when, despite all their internal opposition and all of it, because there is 2-round voting, where everybody contests the first round, then the top 2 have to go through a second round where you have to win with an absolute majority. I don't think the Front National will be able to ever get the presidency.
Okay.
Because France is so dependent on handouts. The level of subsidy of farmers and everything out there is so insanely high.
Socialist, leftist politics for a very long time. Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to get out of their problems. I mean, you look at their economic balance sheet, it's not looking good. The one stupidity they didn't do, unlike the British, was deindustrialize. Britain went full on for finance and they completely deindustrialized themselves. The French never did that. Also, the British diluted their own identity. The French never did that. To this day, every Frenchman passing out of school who is considered for exams, elections, whatever, has a crystal clear idea of what French secularism is. It's not airy-fairy like Indian civics. Nobody understands what their
I don't think we have civics anymore now in schools. It's gone.
अरे हमारा civic sense भी नहीं है यार. People who keep thukofying on walls and things. But anyway, I don't think. But with France, I see a lot more scope for recovery than, say, Britain, where... So France is that strange country where Marine Le Pen will go after Islamism and the left will accuse her of not being hard enough on Islamism. UK is the country where there is progressive appeasement of Islamism.
Yes. Complete appeasement.
Germany is a country which, because of its history, is so shamed. They can't even talk in terms of identity.
They're murdering AFD.
If the Germans give you a gift, it'll be, I'm sorry, I can't even make eye contact with you.
That's
because of what Hitler did. And imagine Germany has to pay the price for what a bloody Austrian did. You look at them, and you're raised, ever since you're a kid, you're drained of all your self-confidence and pride because of what Hitler did.
Yeah,
You're taught you're a murderer, you're a gas chamber operator, etc., etc.
Yeah, they're all being gaslighted, basically. That's what I would say. The whole German.
It works. I mean, it works for their polity. I mean, look, as long as they're happy doing what they're doing, please.
Where do you see China into all this? Where does China fit in Middle East?
Classic middle income trap. Economically, first let's look at it economically. It's a classic middle income trap. I don't know how they're going to grow up the value chain. Especially because your demography is, and the West has very strict knowledge barriers to what China has given. Manufacturing is a mix of two things. It's not just the how, it is also the why. Right? They, through industrial sabotage, they can get the how, they can't get the why. Now, China plays a zero-sum game wherever it goes. Because it is stuck in that manufacturing rut. It needs commodities, it needs fuel. It also needs markets. They will sell to absolutely anybody who's willing to buy
from them.
Saudi Arabia wants to buy, we'll sell it to Saudi Arabia. Iran wants to buy, we'll sell it to Iran. During the Iran-Iraq war, they were selling the same goddamn missiles to both Iran and Iraq.
Yeah. They're selling the same to Pakistan and Iraq.
Yeah.
HQ9s.
So this is an old thing. So, this is the mistake that a lot of people make. They assume British were capitalist. And a lot of Americans make that mistake and think they're the descendants of the British Empire. No. Britain was mercantilist. America was capitalist. A capitalist sees that it is no longer worth my time to work on a factory floor. I will do the last minute high value assembly, put my mark on it and charge the prices. I will do the high level R&D, but I will let the manufacturing go to the lower value markets to reduce prices. A mercantilist, which is what Britain did, has colonies which are kept deindustrialized. So you have a captive market. So basically, the British were like the Tatas. Can't expand internationally. They're dependent on high tariffs just to service the Indian market. And you see the state of Tata companies right now. They're stuck in that. China is very much in that manufacturing mode, where it is still mercantilist. It wants sales. They are actually going out of their way to prevent. Because, industrialization requires a strong state. But to grow into an information age economy, the state needs to take a back seat. The Communist Party will never take a back seat.
Yeah.
वो होगा ही
वो कभी नहीं होगा.
Best of luck.
But tell me something, when it comes to innovation, right? The China is far ahead today. Or if you look at the way they are building up their military might, questionable because they have not been tested in real time, and whatever they've been tested in Pakistan turned out to be junk, right? But do you think that it is such a potential, a rival to a United States where it's coming back to that Cold War era between China and US?
So, this was something that used to happen in the USSR as well. There were certain things which Moscow could do, which Washington simply could not do. There was this submarine called the Typhoon. There has never been a heavier submarine built than that. It was 50,000 tons. It was the weight of a goddamn aircraft carrier. They built the MiG-25, which was an all-aluminium plane which could fly at Mach 3 times the speed of sound, right? And they built it in large numbers.
The Foxbat, yes.
They built a submarine called the Alpha. Now, these are NATO reporting names. Typhoon, Alpha, these are all NATO reporting names. which could, go underwater at something like 40, 50 knots, which was unheard of for a submarine. Very fast. And based on that, there was a air-to-air missile before the West. So, what used to happen was with Western missiles, if I'm chasing you in an aircraft, I would first have to get behind you
and
put you in the thing, and then I could launch my missile at you. They came up with this missile where you will be flying here. It used to be something like a 60-degree off bore sight
So something
angle.
like
So up to
BVR.
here.
Not
BVR. It is within visual range, but optical sighting.
Okay.
You're here. I will just look at you and press the thing, and the point collimation, the missile will go here. I didn't have to come behind you. Based on all of this, a lot of people would predict that, the Soviets would easily win a war against America. No. There is something called whole of nation power.
Okay.
Your economy shouldn't be distorted. It should be allowed to grow naturally. The biggest control in China, in fact, is education. First, they are so focused on they do not want to go into services at all. They don't want to go into, they allow certain people to enter that Apple or LG or BYD level of product design.
It's quite weird.
But they're very focused. We want a manufacturing base. They never want their manufacturing base to go away. You can't grow that way. See, this is like their population policies. India did not do the one-child policy. We've naturally controlled our birth rates over a period of time. China did the one-child policy. Look how badly screwed up their demographics are right now. If anybody thinks China is getting anywhere near America, best of luck, boss. But is there innovation, true innovation, genuine innovation, happening in certain silos? 100% yes. But true innovation happens in a lot of countries. There is price point innovation in India. So, for example, our space program, we're able to do it at a price that nobody else can. The Chinese are able to build EVs in a way nobody else can, at a price nobody else can.
That's because they got a monopoly on the lithium market and, the mines.
No. See, even that is playing the market, and but it is not just that. The control of rare earths rare earths aren't rare. What China has done is they've basically outpriced everybody else from the market. They do dumping. The moment a new player comes, they then reduce their prices drastically. These guys can't make a profit, and after 3-4 years, they shut down. But you look at the innovations they've done in cars and things like that, it is genuinely remarkable. But innovations happen across the board in advanced societies. It is not siloized. Siloized development can never grow. So if you think China is, there is a school that believes China is way ahead on everything. Congratulations to you. I just want to point out, to this date, they have not been able to come up with an efficient naval engine. They have naval engines, but they're not efficient. They're not able to come
Their submarines are horrible. Make a lot of noise.
Yeah. They are still not able to fix the basic bleed problems on their aircraft engines. They consolidated all 4 aircraft engine manufacturers into one in the hope that throwing money at a problem does not solve the problem.
Yeah, true. Because they had the same problem with the Pakistanis when Pakistanis were requesting Russians for the engines for J-17s.
Yeah. Which is why Pakistan does not use Chinese J-17 engines.
Yes. Coming to J-17 engines, where do you think India is going in terms of innovation and, Prime Minister Modi's vision of 2047? How realistic is this?
Let me just sum this up to you very simply. I'm borrowing Sushant Sarin's words.
Okay.
Giving reforms to a babu is like giving LGBTQ rights to Mullah Omar.
Okay.
It's really that simple. If you think a retired babu is going to reform the system he helped create,
then good luck. But tell me something. What is stopping us or HAL? Because I was looking at the numbers we have with GE 414 engines coming for Tejas, right? We have 5 engines a year. The order is about 180 planes. That makes it to 35? Do the maths. 35 years for the entire order to get completed if 5 engines are going to be there.
The rate increases after. So next year there will be 20 engines.
Okay.
Right.
So let's say a decade or a decade and a half.
Yeah.
But then by decade and a half, the whole warfare is going to change.
This is because you don't know when you've got a failed product. This started in the 1980s.
Yes.
There are 100 apologies. They'll say, Abhijit, Ganju, Motu, Homo, Chutia, saying this. It really only started in 2000. Before 2000, there was no Tejas and blah, blah. Nonsense.
No, it started, I think, with Ajit and then the Tejas.
No. That Ajit was a different thing. It started in the 80s. It was started as a program to overcome foreign technological hurdles.
Okay.
Now you overcome foreign technological hurdles by putting foreign technology in there. So admit you failed. Okay. Second, this is a 4th generation aircraft that you're bringing out when China and America have flown their 6th generation aircraft.
Heck, even the Pakistanis might have a 5th generation now. From the Saudi money, yeah.
Right.
They'll pay the Chinese for the G35s.
Give me a break. You are unwilling to take tough decisions when you need to take those tough decisions. This is like Dhritarashtra, from that famous Mahabharata. I'm not talking about Mahabharata in general. I'm talking about that
the king who was blind and
no, not the king who was blind. The Doordarshan episode, the 1990s Doordarshan Mahabharata.
Yes.
Where Dhritarashtra always used to say, "Main kya karu?" It's like that. There are a lot of things you can do. You refuse to do it. Best of luck to you.
So what is the way forward for the Indian defense?
See, you have to understand Indian defense is fundamentally linked to the civil market. Okay. Why can't we produce a tank engine in India? It is because you do not have, you tax civilian automobiles by engine power and engine capacity.
Yes.
Now, he can't make a profit by developing an engine for you for just 1,200 tanks. He then has to make a very powerful S-Class or Rolls-Royce type sedan with not the same engine, but a similar engine, which he then
can sell you at a...
He amortizes the cost.
Amortizes the cost, yes.
If you don't do that, how do you expect to get a tank engine? So you have to understand it's all linked. They don't understand linkages. Actually, they understand it. They want to pretend they don't understand it. क्योंकि हर बंदे का हाथ
जो है वो interest में है. So then 2047 Atmanirbharta, where does this go?
Bro, I've grown up since the 1980s. People don't remember. I was born in 1977. And since 1977, I've been hearing Atmanirbhar.
In one
way or another.
Yeah.
I am now 47. अभी तक तो मैंने देखा नहीं है.
Where will it go? We don't know. But how big a threat is from Bangladesh, and how is our classic left operating in India? Because we are seeing small toolkits happening. We're seeing Ladakh.
Look, I think Bangladesh has largely been sorted out because Bangladesh, the army basically put a gun to, what is this fellow? Yunus's head. And
Yunus has put a knife on the army's back. I'm telling you.
No, he's not. He's not. That is bullshit. No, that is bullshit. That is total bullshit. It has not happened. The army is very well aware of what he's capable of and what he's not capable of. That election is now forced down his throat in February. After that, he's going to escape and go somewhere. Okay? After that, things will... Have you noticed even in the last 4-5 months, dealing with Bangladesh has become much, much easier ever since the new High Commissioner came?
Yeah, things have calmed down a bit.
Not a bit, very, very significantly. Ye random vandalism of Durga Puja pandals and things is not something we can stop. That you can't stop. That has always happened out there. You can't stop it. Okay? But the overall nonsense, ministers talking out of turn, all of that has stopped completely.
That has gone
That has
down. The
happened for a
rhetoric has gone
reason.
down. Yes.
Now, इसमें क्या है कि Bangladesh, the threat comes from the Jamaat-e-Islami. Can Pakistan weaponize the Jamaat-e-Islami? Yes. Can Pakistan weaponize Nepal in a way? Because we have fairly uncontrolled borders with Nepal.
They already have, I believe. At least in
See,
Bangladesh,
it's
they
one
have.
thing. Yes and no. See, there's a lot more to weaponization than just building up those ties. There are consequences that flow. Are you able to deal with those consequences? So I don't think the next bunch of terrorists are going to come from across the Pakistan border.
They're going to
did
come
in
from
Taiwan.
Bangladesh.
Or Nepal,
Yeah.
as the
Or
case
Nepal.
may be, or by sea, as was the case in Bombay. But it is going to happen because the Americans always say we engage with Pakistan because it acts as to retard Pakistani terror. Whereas the Pakistanis, every time the Americans get behind them, they see it as an enabler of more terror.
Yes.
There's nothing you can do about it. It is the card. You have to play the cards you've been dealt with.
So then do you think we're going to go to war with Pakistan? And will this be a very decisive war? It's going to be the same 2, 3, 4
प्रधानमंत्री
days?
ने खुद बोल दिया है कि this is a pause, isn't a stop.
But pause में तो हम cricket भी खेल रहे हैं.
That was a particularly stupid thing. I don't know why they did it. I don't know why they shared flood information with Pakistan.
No, I think, okay.
This is...
See, that we shared flood information because Pakistan said that we don't need your information. We have secondary methods of, finding out how much water is there. And then they spectacularly failed because they know nothing.
That is their problem. But the main thing is, if you let go of Muhammad Ghori in the first battle of Tarain, you're going to have a second battle of Tarain, which is not going to go well for you.
True. So you don't think the Americans are going to play spoil sport in regime change in India? They are not interested? Or do you think they are very
You
much
can't
interested?
do regime change in India.
Why? You have Rahul
See,
Gandhi.
no. Even he can't do anything. It's not like he hasn't tried before.
He's tried everything.
He tried the Shaheen Bagh
He's
stunt.
tried everything.
He tried the farmer protest stunt.
He's
See,
trying the vote chori thing.
India rebels, not even one state at a time, one region within one state at a time, which is controllable. We are not small like Nepal, where Kathmandu effectively is Nepal, where Dhaka is effectively Bangladesh, where Colombo is effectively Sri Lanka. We are not a country like
No.
that.
We are too big.
So you can't do it. It is for the same reason there can be no coup in India.
But fractured vote is something which always helps the Congress, no? That is an effective
It
efficient
used to help the Congress. It used to help the Congress once upon a time when they were still getting the maximum number of votes. But remember, this time was the first election in history where the Congress party managed to surpass the total number of votes that Rajiv Gandhi got in 1984.
Okay, interesting.
But how many seats they ended up with? 100.
99. Then
100.
one more. Yeah, 100.
Why not after
Yeah.
that? That's that. About you can keep trying. See, once a party goes down like that, it's impossible to revive it. You lose all your regional strongmen and things like that. You can have a slight blip. Like Britain had the Falklands War.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean Britain became a great power again.
No, they didn't. Right. So, one last question I have. Going forward, do you see a lot of chaos happening within the world? Or do you see that things are going to settle down?
There is going to be a lot of chaos, boss. See, imagine in this year alone, you've had what? Armenia, Azerbaijan,
You have Iran, Israel.
You've
had
got
India,
Gaza
Pakistan.
continuing, you've got India, Pakistan, you've got Eritrea, Ethiopia happening, which nobody talks about right
Yeah.
now. You have all kinds of nonsense happening in
You
Sudan.
had Thailand, Cambodia
No,
happening.
you had Sudan, then you had Thailand, Cambodia. There is too much crap going on right now. It's symptomatic of a impending system of systems collapse. The systems that used to work have stopped working. Now, what form or shape it takes, we can't really tell. But I see a lot more chaos happening. I don't see a world war happening.
I already believe we are in a world war, but in an asymmetrical way where we have normalized war.
The only reason world war was because it was an age of colonialism and all the colonies didn't have a choice.
Yes.
Here, everybody has a choice.
And everybody is using one form or other form of terrorism to fight each other.
Yeah.
Overt, covert, always.
Whatever. But the main thing out here is, because you're not world war, the lines were very clear. This is not a world war, it's really world chaos. Is going to be much, much more shades of gray and lines you can't understand. But I suspect in the long run, it will be much more deadly, because low intensity prolonged violence actually kills a higher percentage of people than high intensity concentrated violence. Right? Simple example, the number of Indians that die in road accidents every year is many magnitudes greater than the total number of Indians that have died in war since independence. The total number of Indians who have died in each single insurgency has been more than in a war. So it is always persistent low-level violence that kills a huge percentage. I suspect we're heading towards a situation like that.
And with Pakistan being the darling of America and the Arab world again, how do you see Jammu and Kashmir shaping up?
It doesn't matter now. They can be the darling, but tell me who can force us to the negotiating table.
No, not on the negotiation. You see, what is going to happen is a lot of rhetoric.
It doesn't even matter
yesterday
if it is even militarily. Realistically, what can Pakistan do?
Push more terrorists. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what they'll do.
Even there, you can't sustain an insurgency on the ground because the conflict economy root causes have been removed. The main reason you had an insurgency was because when it started off, the fertility rate was something like 5-6 in Kashmir.
Yes, it's gone.
Today fertility rate is less than replacement rate.
Yes, it's less.
Today, if you go tell a Kashmiri mummy, I'm shaheed banne wala hu, she'll give you one tight slap. In those days, she had 5. She'll be like, please ask me, at least 3 of you go try getting shahadat. Well, those dynamics have changed. There will be other dynamics because the rest of India has a youth bulge. No realistic employment. There's a lot of disguised unemployment.
Yeah, and
you go look at the figures from the UPA era. The number of people involved in agriculture had come down to 21 or 23%. Today, it's back up to 41 or 43%. See, that's all hidden unemployment.
Right.
आप क्या करते हो? मैं खेती करता हूँ. What is खेती, bro? Like, there's only like a summer crop and a winter crop. It's not like you're there in the fields every single day.
And you're not making too much money, like unlike Punjab.
But you have no intense incentive to work because you have MNREGA. So once in 2-3 days, you're going to get a handout from the government, right?
So where do you see the left in India? Because what I'm seeing, the youth bulge you talked about, and
the
this
left is
radicalization
truly finished in India, and I'll tell you why. If this is the center, this is the right, this is the left. The right has moved so far left that the left space is here.
So does India need a new right? Is that what you're saying?
I think the only way the BJP can be outflanked is from the right.
Okay.
But that will take decades and decades and decades to happen. In the meantime, the left cannot move right because they will lose their whole vote bank.
They can't. Yes. The moment they do that, they can't.
They're finished.
They're finished.
So where is the scope out there?
But there is a lot of, there is a lot of scope for unrest right from the
There is
Kerala
huge
coastal belt till West
scope
Bengal.
for unrest because of we keep talking about demographic dividend.
Yes.
Where are the goddamn manufacturing jobs?
Very less.
You basically, in order to deal with this youth bulge,
Hmm.
you need a job that has to be pretty nasty, like industrial Britain in the late 1700s and early 1800s. You need to get to work at 7 a.m. You need to work till 7 p.m. You need to come back so exhausted.
That you don't have time for anything else. Yeah. And, they say empty mind is devil's workshop. Yeah.
Every time I see a new reel of some chichora making some useless Instagram reel or YouTube reel,
Thank God we don't have TikTok yet.
thank God. I'm like, boss, this is what your next revolution is going to be based on. It's not going to be a revolution because, like I said, in India, things don't happen.
Yeah, because, a lot of people were actually not eulogizing, but celebrating the Gen Z protest which happened in Nepal, right?
See, they celebrate
And
every.
but the point
they were
is,
the
look,
same. No, look,
the point is,
three
Abhijit,
causes.
but
They're
there is
different.
there is a point. They're extremely violent. They burned down the whole goddamn Kathmandu,
Yes.
and then they were dancing on the streets like
Yes.
they were actually
But
celebrating.
Bangladesh also, they were violent. You saw all these people
Yeah.
celebrating Bangladesh also.
Yeah.
They were celebrating Sri Lanka also.
Yeah. So I mean, the dancing doesn't absolve them of being a violent mind.
No. Here's the thing. People can have their delusions.
Hmm.
They can have their delusions that jo udhar hua hone wala hai.
Hmm.
You need to have a sense of proportion. This is like people saying India is the next Singapore.
Hmm.
People on the right will say India is the next Singapore. Bhai, Singapore aisa hai. Tum aisa ho.
Possible nahi hai.
So what on the right is that India is the next Singapore or India is the next Dubai. Is on the left, India is the next Sri Lanka, Nepal or Bangladesh. Not going to happen. India is not Japan. India is not Korea. India is not Taiwan. India is not Singapore.
And will never be.
And will never be.
Right. Do you think China will take over Taiwan, or
They'll try. I don't think they can succeed.
will the Americans come?
100%.
They will.
There's too much in terms. See, they'll come for no other reason other than microchips.
Hmm.
The Taiwanese have built that up as such a powerful niche.
Yeah.
The West can't afford to lose that particular niche. They may assemble it in the West, but
That's what Donald Trump wants them to do now, shift manufacturing to the America. I don't think Taiwanese would do that.
Yeah.
I really don't think so. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
With that, I have taken a lot of your time and I'm really grateful for you to be here. And I really thank you for being on this podcast again.
Thank you so much. That was fun.
I hope you like this podcast. If you liked it, kindly share it with your
Yeah.
friends, family, and others. And with all your nears and tears, subscribe to the channel. Please ask them to subscribe to the channel, grow the channel. You can contribute by becoming members or through super chats and super thanks. You can leave comments to us, and we will try to answer your comments back. I hope you liked it. Till next time, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.